What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the live stream today for the Miami Dolphins franchise. We'll be going through the first offseason in the series and moving into season 2, seeing how this team looks and seeing what improvements we can make in this offseason. It's very exciting. It's a long time since I've streamed a Madden offseason, so this should be a lot of fun today. Start off today, going to look at some of the yearly awards. I went over some of these in the week 17 where I went through all the awards, but we'll look at it one more time. So Patrick Mahomes wins MVP. Patriots coach wins the coach of the year. Then offensive player of the year is Patrick Mahomes in the AFC. Miles Jack is the defensive player of the year. Herbert and Patrick Queen are your rookie of the years. Then Mahomes wins best quarterback. Best running back goes to Derrick Henry. Juju Smith-Schuster is one of the best wide receiver, or is the best wide receiver, and then Devontae Parker is in 5th. Ronnie Stanley, Myles Garrett, Miles Jack, and Jerome Baker was 7th in this one, with Kyle Van Noy being 9th. The best DB goes to Mike Hilton, with Byron Jones in the top 10. Best kicker is Justin Tucker. And then for the NFC, Russell Wilson wins the Offensive Player of the Year. Quan Alexander wins Defensive Player of the Year. Jalen Reagor is the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Chase Young wins it as Defensive Rookie of the Year. Drew Brees is Quarterback of the Year. So Russell Wilson doesn't actually win that. He wins Offensive Player of the Year, but doesn't win Best Quarterback. So that's definitely interesting. And then best running back is Zeke Elliott, Devontae Adams, Zach Martin, Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack, Kyle Fuller. So the Bears get 2 awards there. And then best kicker goes to Seattle's kicker, Jason Myers. One best quarterback. So one thing that I didn't actually mention in the last episode that I didn't notice until recently is that we did have an upgrade. Kyle Van Noy got an upgrade to Superstar after being a Pro Bowler and getting some other awards. So he got a boost there, which is awesome. That'll really help him out. Even though he is a little bit older, he's already 30. But that'll hopefully help keep him higher rated as we move forward. And then I don't think we had any other development upgrades. But I think that's pretty much that. The Super Bowl will be between the Ravens and the Saints. And we'll go ahead and scout some of these players so we can move forward into the re-signing players portion and get this offseason started. So we'll scout some players. Want to scout a couple of late round running backs. We have 2 here. We'll scout Darius Meadows. Not bad. Good juke move. Good break tackle. Then Thomas Shields. Also, wow, really good. Good stiff arm, carrying, and trucking. So other positions I want to look at. Feel good about the safeties we have scouted. Don't really have any interest in corners. Then, let's see. Any late round middle linebackers. Got them all scouted. Left outside linebackers. Not really too many interesting there. Maybe some late round D tackles. We'll finish off PJ Brackett. At right end, not a whole lot there except for at the top of the board. Left end, scout Brett Malone. All the offensive linemen have already been scouted. For some of these receivers, I want to see their physicals before I actually scout them, but we'll scout a couple of them later rounds. So not a lot of luck so far, but we'll finish off with William McLean. That's a nice 4th round grade for him. And then Ladarius Choice, good spec catch for him at 6'5", 220. So I think that's pretty much everything here. And we'll go ahead and advance to the off season. See, where where do we get player regression? Forget exactly which stage it is. Probably not this one. How's everyone doing today? I know pretty weak slate of college games today, but hopefully some of them can be exciting. Got Virginia Tech and Miami on my second TV right now. We'll go ahead, move forward, and we'll see some regression and who won the Super Bowl. So the Saints do win the Super Bowl. Drew Brees gets another one. See what that looked like for the Ravens. So 25-28, so a real close game. Looks like New Orleans was up big and Baltimore tried to come back. They were down 28-10, put up 15 in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't enough. Looks like they weren't really able to run the ball well. And based on that, it looks like Drew Brees retired because he's not here anymore. So that's very interesting. But Lamar threw 3 interceptions. So a poor performance from him. Only completed 60% of his passes. Rushing, Kamara went over 100 yards. Mark Ingram had 54. Gus Edwards only 2 yards per carry but had a touchdown. Lamar only ran it 2 times. Receiving, Marquise Brown had a big day. And then Traquan Smith, Jared Cook, Mark Andrews caught a touchdown. Let's see on the defensive side of the ball. So Cam Jordan had 2 tackles for loss and a sack. Tyus Bowser had 1. Marcus Davenport. And then Marshawn Lattimore picked off 2 of Lamar Jackson's pass. Marlon Humphrey had 1. See if there's anything in kicking. So Tucker made his field goal attempt. Will Lutz missed his. And kick returning Deontay Harris had 3 returns. Devin Duvernay had 2 punt returns. So it looks like it was not a super close Super Bowl. The Ravens tried to make it interesting at the end. We can't really see the scoring summary, so it makes it a little harder to know. But let's see 2020 retirements. This is a new thing they just added in. So Donald Penn retires. Emmanuel Sanders retires. Ryan Khalil, Drew Brees. So the Saints lose a lot off of their Super Bowl winning team. Maybe Jameis Winston will be their starting quarterback next year. Dwayne Brown, Jonathan Joseph, Cam Wake, who got signed by the Cowboys. He retires. Sean Lee, Brandon Mebane, LaShawn McCoy. Edelman, McCourty, and McCourty all retire. So there's 3 right there that are all important for the Patriots. So that's good for us in our division. Thomas Davis, Andrew Whitworth. Jason Witten finally retires again. Richie Incognito, Adrian Peterson, Danny Amendola. Vinatieri after 25 years. Frank Gore retires. Let's see. Matt Schaub, Larry Fitzgerald, and Deshaun Jackson both retire. So Kyler Murray loses one of his better weapons. See if what they do in the offseason to help that out. Darian Stewart. And then Pete Carroll and Andy Reid both retire. So that's pretty big news there. 2 of the Super Bowl contending coaches all retire. So let's look at the AFC East. So no one really that's super important retires except for these 3 for the Patriots. So that means we had no one retire. Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't retire, which is a little interesting. So now we'll go to re-signing players. I'm not really sure currently how many of these guys I actually want to bring back. Greg Ward is one, but I don't necessarily know if I want to give him $3 million a year. We'll offer him this, and if he doesn't accept it, okay. So he accepts that. Mike could have even gone a little lower, but that's good. We get Greg Ward back. Antonio Callaway, I don't want to bring back. Then Miles Brown, he made a couple of impact plays for us. He provides us depth. Give him maybe 1.8. See if he'll take that. So he'll stick around. Terry Beckner, I don't really know if I want to bring him back. If he was like still a free agent, I think it would be an interesting choice because he's got some decent acceleration, decent strength, but the rest of his real like attributes aren't that good. Maybe give him, I'll give him this offer. So they're all staying so far, making me wonder if I could have gone a little less. Throckmorton, I don't really want to bring back. Matt Breida, I decided I don't want to bring him back. I don't think it's worth it for a 3-year contract for a running back. Albert Wilson, I don't want to bring back. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's regressed. Let me check out regression, see where we are with that. But I think we can maybe find a better backup quarterback in free agency. So let's see. Bobby McCain goes down 4 points. Xavier Howard goes down 3. Jakeem Grant starts to drop. Any big ones? Ryan Fitzpatrick goes down 20. Van Noy goes down 9, which isn't good. Gets a little less athletic, a little worse power moves. And then Deion Jordan. So most of these aren't that big. They're not like super bad drops. Allen Hurns, that's not great. I'm not sure what his role will be. He didn't play at all this year. But we'll go back to this now. May head to the bottom of the roster and go from there. Adam Pankey, I don't want to bring him back. Calvin Munson, not interested. Julian Davenport, he's only 26, but he's not a super high overall. If I could get him back for this amount, then I'll do it, but yeah, so he wants to test. I'm not super upset about that. Adam Shaheen, he wants way too much money that I'm not going to give him. Matt Collins, I'm not interested. Yeah, that's way too much for Adam Shaheen. He did have a couple nice plays for us, but overall just wasn't super impactful. Sam McGuavin, I think I'll let him walk. He wants about $2.75 million a year. Gavon Frazier, I'll let him walk. And some of these guys, I think there's a chance we could re-sign them. It's just a matter of right now, I think it's better to see what all is available. I think it's the same with Camus Grugier-Hill and Landon Roberts. Don't have any interest there. I worry about the offensive line market. We're really bad on the offensive line right now, so I think it may be important for us to re-sign Ted Karras, but just overall wise, he's not really that good. Isaiah Ford, I think there could be better receiving options available to us. Deion Jordan, I think it's another situation where also his finesse moves are really bad at this point. He played well for us, but I think it'd be better to let him walk. I want to get a lot of new faces on this team. And then Devon Godchow. It's a tough one because we have Raekwon Davis, so I don't really want to pay him $7 million a year. But we also do need depth along the defensive line. But I think that's good for now. Re-signed a couple of them. And then I'm going to let the rest walk, and we'll see what's available to us and what's best for us to target. So we'll head into the first stage of free agency, see who's available, which will be very exciting. But we'll look. Right now we have 25 spots to fill. A number of those will be filled through the draft. But let's sort of look at our roster with those players out of there and see what positions we still need to target. So we have Tua under contract. He's our starting quarterback moving forward. But I do think it's important. I would like to get a veteran backup for him, someone who can step in just in case. Then running back's a position I think I want to target. Receiver, I think more help here could be very beneficial. Not super impressed with anyone we actually have on our team. Tight end, I think I want to get a third one. Offensive line. Could use some help. Defensive line. Maybe another D tackle. We need help at middle linebacker now. Corner, some depth there. So I think those are the biggest positions of need right now. So we'll actually see what free agents are available. We have $37.4 million in cap space. So I think we have a decent amount of room to work with. Richard Sherman's the best player available. Desmond King's out there. Todd Gurley, Marcus Williams, Phillip Lindsay, Keanu Neal, Alex Mack, Jared Cook, Tevin Coleman, Sheldon Rankin. So a decent amount of talent in this first class. The one thing that I don't really want to target any of these top tier guys because I don't think they're going to make a big enough difference for us to actually compete with anyone. So at quarterback, I mean, Fitzpatrick is available. Bring back Josh Rosen again. Tyrod Taylor. The problem with these is they're asking for more money than I would like to give them. Like, Tyrod Taylor would be interesting to me, but I don't really want to give him $3.7 million. He's got decent short accuracy, athleticism. Andy Dalton wants $6 million a year, which I definitely don't want to give him to be a backup quarterback, especially with those ratings. Check out Robert Griffin III. Yeah, those passing ratings just aren't workable. Case Keenum. That's a little more what I'm looking for. In a backup, I'm not super concerned about a big arm or anything. Just someone who can step in. Because if Tua goes down, our season's probably pretty much over anyways. Taysom Hill's out there. I think we'll come back to that, though. At running back, Todd Gurley, Phillip Lindsay, Devontae Freeman, Darius Geis, Cordero Patterson, Matt Breida. I was looking at some people who would be free agents, and one guy I was very interested by is Gus Edwards. He's still only 26. He's a big bruising back. He's been productive since he's come into the NFL. He's never had really a full-time 100% role. I'm not sure if he would get that with us, but I think I would like to make him an offer. Maybe probably about $5 million, so $2.5 million a year. Doesn't have a ton of interest in that. I think I'll up the signing bonus a little bit and cut the salary. Get it back to 5. I think that's a good, gives us 52 points. It's something to work with. J.D. McKissick is interesting to me. Mike Davis. But I think out of these running backs, I think Gus Edwards, he's one of the youngest. He's not as expensive as Leonard Fournette. Jamal Williams is similarly aged, but he also wants more money. I think Gus Edwards is definitely an interesting guy for us to target. At receiver, I want to try and find a deep threat. There's not really a whole ton of options here. Wow. John Ross wants $6 million a year. Philip Dorsett wants $5 million. Want someone who can be a downfield threat for us. Rashad Perryman. He would be interesting. Damiere Byrd. He's got the speed. My original person I was thinking of targeting was John Ross. And I think to some extent Damiere Byrd could be a older, sort of worse version of John Ross. Because they both have elite speed. John Ross is a little faster, a little bit better of a receiver. But Damiere Byrd is not asking for $6 million a year for a guy who's barely played consistently in the NFL. I think we'll offer Damiere Byrd, lower this. I think that's probably good. Some of these players I'm going to lowball, they don't have any current interest. Especially with a lot of receivers available, I think we have the ability to get some of these guys. A third tight end would be interesting. What I'm not sure about, though, is if it's something we should target now or something we should target after the draft and everything is over to see who's still available and just sort of go from there. Former Minnesota Vikings, Nicole Pruitt. I think I want to get someone who can block, though, is sort of my thought, just because Mike Gesicki can't block. He's a good receiving threat. Not sure if there's anyone actually available who can block. I think that's something where not all of these players are going to be signed. May go through a stage or two and see who's still available. Now along the offensive line, let's see if there's anyone interesting. DJ Fluker, Kelechi Osemele. Not a whole ton of talent here, really. And I think if we want to get an upgrade, we're going to have to spend some money. So we had 3 rookies starting last year. Yeah, so Ted Karras, he's the 4th best available. He's younger than the rest and requires less investment. Come back to the offensive line. Let's see some of the other positions available. J.R. Sweezy, Brian Winters. Taylor Moton wants a lot of money. I don't think he's talented. He's still young, good development traits. But I'm not sure if I want to shell out $11 million to an offensive lineman. On the defensive line, let's see. Anyone who pops out to me. Because I don't think that's a super big need. I like Christian Wilkins and I like Emmanuel Ogbah. The depth behind them is a little concerning to me. I'm not sure if that's something we can address in the draft or something we address outside of that. Dwayne Smoot. Let's see. Good finesse moves. The other one I wanted to look at was Taco Charlton. Once again, good finesse moves. Part of me does wonder if this is another one of those positions to just hold off on and see where everything is after we sim forward a little bit. Now, Terrell Basham, he is interesting to me because he has 78 finesse moves, pretty much only is a pass rusher. He does want a decent amount of money, I think. Offer him a 1-year deal for about 2.5. Because I want to rotate our pass rushers and everything more. And I think he would be a good replacement for Deion Jordan as a backup pass rusher behind Shaq Lawson or Emmanuel Ogbah. Let's see. Terrell Suggs still out there. Benson Mayowa. Alan Bailey's interesting. At defensive tackle. So Poona Ford's available. I like him a lot. Undersized, but that just creates natural leverage. Doesn't have great pass rushing moves, but is a good run stopper. I think he has some interest, though. Malik Jackson. That would definitely be an interesting get. Definitely keep an eye on that. He wants $7 million a year. Marcel Darius. Makes it hard because there's so many people available, all with different skill sets. Mario Edwards still in the NFL. Let's see right outside. Bud Dupree's available. Darren Lee. How much is he wanting? He wants way too much money. I think he could be an interesting backup middle linebacker to Jerome Baker. Maybe give him $2.89 million. I doubt he takes that, though. Let's look at middle linebackers. Reuben Foster, Danny Trevathan, Devondre Campbell. Let's see, what does Dan Buchanan's ratings look like? Good athlete, good hit. Not much block shedding, not much coverage. But it's another option. I think we'll actually hold off on that for now. At corner, see if there's anyone a little further down for competition with Noah Igbenogany. Vernon Hargraves is out there. See what his ratings look like. Good man coverage, decent press, not a super great athlete. Sidney Jones. Sort of similar. Any interesting options at safety? I like our depth there. I think it's also something we could target in the draft. So let's see, who have I offered to? So I have a few there. So Gus Edwards, Damiere Byrd, Darren Lee, and Terrell Basham. So I think we're going to advance a stage, and then we'll take another look at it, see who signed, who's still available. So Terrell Basham accepts our contract offer. So that'll give us some nice pass rushing depth. Look at this real quick, and then we're going to look at the combine grades for everyone. So Gus Edwards, we still have the top offer for everyone. So that's good. Let's see who's been signed so far. So Desmond King is going to the Patriots. So that's a huge signing. The Washington football team signs a couple players. Keanu Neal, that's a perfect fit for him on the Ravens defense. Taylor Moton goes to the Patriots, so they make a couple of big signings. Tack McKinley to the Bills, so they get another pass rusher there. Bud Dupree goes to the Patriots, so Patriots are stocking up right now. And the Bills made a good signing. So a lot of interesting talent. Let's look at quarterback. So Winston, wow. I don't know what his offer was, but if they gave him 3 years, $70 million, that would be insane. Couple low-rated quarterbacks sign. So let's look at our draft board. And before the draft starts, I'll break down some of the players that I like. So the combine results are available. Not super standout for Chad Quick, who's the #1 prospect. I think he'll probably be really good. The only thing with him is you don't really know what any of his real ratings are, because you know his tackle, hit power, and pursuit. But outside of that, there's not a lot of information there. The top quarterback in the draft, I scouted him just to know, is Terrell Wall, 5'11", 220 out of South Carolina. He's got a rocket arm, it looks like, a good athlete. Maybe a little similar to Kyler Murray. A little bigger, though, and probably not the polished passer that Kyler Murray was. So we'll look at some running backs in the later rounds. So Deion Watkins ran a 4.47, which isn't really super fast. Darius Meadows, way too slow for me. And then see what some 40-yard. He ran a 4.69, 4.55, 4.52, 4.48. That's not bad. We'll scout him. I don't think I'm necessarily super interested in drafting a running back, especially high at all. But I think there is some nice, or at least adds depth for us. Receiver in the early rounds isn't something that I think I'll be targeting all that much. One guy I really liked his ratings was Melvin Southward, and he had a pretty good combine, not elite fast, but very quick, decently strong. I really like him. He's a guy that I 100% want to be able to get. So some other guys, Ladarius Choice, 4.51. Looking for a deep threat here. So Andrew McQueen, not bad. Jaquez Banks, trying to find someone under a 4.5. Jimmy Farr with a 4.38. That's not bad. I definitely still like Melvin Southward better, but I think as another late round option, that's definitely interesting. Let's see. Any blocking tight ends later on in the draft? Scout KJ Anthony. Not bad. All the offensive linemen have been scouted. There really isn't a ton of talent in this class, which is disappointing. Because that's probably the area that we need to improve on the most. A 6.5 grade here, but not super fast. Trying to find some speed rushers. Nah. That's another one where not really all that interested because you can't tell what his actual ratings are. I feel like we have a good majority of this board scouted though, especially at a lot of key positions that I want to target. Let's scout one more running back. 4.54. Okay. All right. I think that used all of my available points. So we'll go back to signing free agents. So at quarterback, there's still some options available. I think their price may drop, though, after the draft. At running back, Gus Edwards, I don't want to miss out on him, so I think I'll raise up his signing bonus, give him $5.3 million. Check out John Ross. So John Ross doesn't actually have any bids, but still way too much money. So Demir Bird, up his offer a little bit, a little more guaranteed money. Then we got Terrell Basham, Darren Lee. I don't want to offer him more money than that. Let's see, Donald Payne. See if I can maybe find someone who can cover a little bit. who's also a decent athlete. Kendall Beckwith's too slow. Tanner Vallejo. Check out Ty Summers. I feel like he's the type of player that if we got through all of free agency and he was still available, I think he'd be worth a preseason signing. Anthony Walker. Cannot cover. Okay. So let's look at some of the defensive linemen. We got Terrell Basham. I think I want to get a defensive tackle. Someone who can provide Raekwon Davis with some depth. Either starting alongside him or being the starting option and switching off, playing like 50-50 of the snaps. I also really wish in this, one thing they should change with the whole free agency thing is not having to click on every single player just to see their ratings. Would make comparing players a lot easier too. Dontari Poe. Good power moves, really good strength. Tyrone Crawford, Poona Ford, I think. If we didn't have someone like Raekwon Davis on the roster, I think he would be very interesting. But I think I want to get a veteran to pair alongside him. So let's check out Tyrone Crawford and then Malik Jackson. So we got 77 block shed and 81 power moves. And then Malik Jackson has 83 power moves and 74 block shedding. So I think we're going to throw him in an offer. He'll definitely be playing for us, so we'll lower the salary, but give him more signing bonus. I think I could probably get him for 6. So we're at $21 million in cap room. So I think offensive line is something we need to target. And with someone like Garrett Bowles or Mike Rimmers, is I don't know, that's not a super massive upgrade over Austin Jackson. And this goes for all the positions, so I don't know how worthwhile it is to sign someone who won't be that big of an upgrade. See, it's center. We do need to sign a center. Alex Mack would be great, but I think he would be like a year or two off season where we started making improvements. That's when he would be a good time to sign him. So Ted Karras, I think we're going to offer him a contract. He can take it or leave it and stay a free agent. Marcus Gilbert, I don't think that's a super big upgrade, especially for that money. But at left guard, I think it is worth upgrading, not over Eric Flowers, but for the right guard position. So we'll check out some of the options here. Jamon Brown. Better pass blocker. Not super great. Mike Iupati, who's really fallen off. Good run blocker. So I think he could be very interesting for only $4.5 million. Matt Feeler. Good run blocker. Only 29 compared to 34. Kelechi Osemele. I think he probably wants too much money. Then the other one is Forrest Lamp. He's still only 27, has star development. He's a pretty good run blocker and pass blocker when it comes to the power. So let's see how much it would take to get Forrest Lamp compared to Mike Iupati. So he would be a one year fix compared to maybe multiple years, but it's going to take more effort to get him. We already have $10 million invested in Eric Flowers, and you'd be investing more into the guard positions when you still have openings at tackle. So I think what we're going to do, I like Iupati to pair with Eric Flowers as the right guard is more of a run blocker. I'm actually going to lower his salary just a little bit to $4 million. So that gives us a number of different players that we're currently targeting. Gives us new faces, some more impact players and some depth players and just guys to be around. So we'll go ahead, advance another week, see if we get any of these signings. Looks like we at least got one. So Gus Edwards accepts, Ted Karras, Malik Jackson, and Mike Iupati all sign. So that's a big boost for us, which is awesome to see. See some of the other league signings. Jaguars sign Richard Sherman. Alex Mack goes to the Giants. Sheldon Rankins. Let's see. Has Matt Breida signed anywhere? No. Ooh, I like Tariq Cohen on the Rams. I think that's a nice signing there. Still only one quarterback is signed. Let's see some of the other ones. Seahawks made a couple. Carl Lawson. So we got $14.8 million left. All of these except for Gus Edwards are 1 year deals, so we're not really hamstringing ourselves moving forward. Then Darren Lee and Damiere Byrd. I'll offer Lee a little bit more money I would give him 2 years, but I would need less of a signing bonus. I think that should get him to sign. Damiere Byrd. Didn't realize it was a 2 year deal, but I think I'm okay with that. I'll give him a little bit more money. So we got 13.9 left. I think we're good on free agency. See if those two will sign with us. Now we'll go to scouting some more players. See if there's anyone that's not been fully scouted. So Ladarius Choice, undrafted. Earl Sherwood, undrafted. I personally prefer to have all the attributes scouted so you know exactly what the player is, so you're not, makes it a little less uncertain later on in the draft. And we still have 102 players scouted. So we'll look at some unscouted players. Let's see, scout a running back. See if there's anyone with a little bit more speed. Tevin Taylor's very elusive, but not very fast. None of these running backs are very fast at all, which makes it hard to actually want to target them. I'll scout. Scout Brandon Wilbon, Jamie Lamb, just to get an idea. So I think this is the last stage of scouting. So we'll see. Some players, first round. I think I have our targets in the first round pretty much settled. It's looking like the fourth round. Emmanuel Dell, 24 years old. I'll pass on that. Miles Brewer, 21. I like that. A lot of these receivers look really good. Let's see. I don't think it would hurt to maybe scout a couple corners later on in the draft, like 6th or 7th round, just to have that as an option. See if we can find any good athletes. It's a good 40 time. Not bad. Not a bad 40 time. So it looks like I can scout one more player fully and then the first rating of someone else. Just looking for someone with some speed. .449, 457, 456, 446, but 23. Like if I could find someone with good speed and not old, I think that would be great. We'll scout him and then scout the first trait of Ashton Stockton. So good press for him. So we do have one more stage of free agency, but I don't think we have the ability to scout in that stage. I'm not 100% sure about that. But we'll go over the draft board real quick and some of the players I'm interested in. So at the top of the board, Chad Quick is the #1 prospect, 21, 6'4", 275 out of Oregon State. And I'm not super thrilled with him. We pick 5th and 12th, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Glenn Carrington could definitely be a target for us. Out of Louisville, 6'5", 322, so a big body. Good 40-yard, or good strength, good shuttle. And he's a good run blocker. Marquise Boykin, I really like him. He's an elite athlete. He's got good man coverage, so I would assume his zone coverage is probably pretty good. And then decent hit power. And I think he could be a really good player for us. I don't think Bobby McCain or Eric Rowe, the future at safety. Ashton Thorne is very interesting. We don't know anything about his coverage ratings, but only 21. He is an elite athlete at the linebacker position. Zamir Hunter also, he isn't as fast, but really good combine overall. Don't know his coverage ratings. Cordell Berry, I wanted to see what his 40 time. So good 40 time, not super strong, but really good finesse move. I think he maybe, we won't be able to get Chad Quick, but I think Cordell Berry is a very good replacement option. Then Addison Higgins, not super fast, but good zone coverage. Another option at safety. Alex Simmons. He's a good run blocker as well. Devontae Best is really good, but not really a target for me. Winston Zenner, who we've seen in the South Dakota Dynasty. He's a 3rd or 4th round prospect. Melvin Southward. I really like him. 4.47, so not elite speed, but good catch in traffic, good catching, and good short route running. So I think he's a pretty much ideal slot receiver, and he could compete with Greg Ward for those slot snaps. Then Devin Cole. Let's see. Tayshaun Stingley. He's really good. 1st round talent in the 6th round. Elite strength, good block shedding. Nolan McNeil I really like. He's a good athlete, good hit power, good tackle. Nice late round option at linebacker. Christian Hopkins, another good run blocker. John Thomas, slightly better. He's a better pass blocker. Diego Trevino, Quan Bush, Grayson Samuel. So some nice offensive line available in the later rounds, which is nice to see. So Gus Edwards, Ted Karras, Malik Jackson, and Mike Iupati. So we'll move forward one more stage. So Darren Lee accepts, but Demir Bird does not. So he's still a free agent, so we'll have to look and find a deep threat receiver somewhere. So let's see. Scouting some more players. So we do have 200 points more available to us. I'm not really sure where else we should scout someone. Let's look at some more late round corners. Finish scouting Stockton. We'll scout some later round tight ends just to see what's available to us. I don't think it's a super big need and probably not where we're going to go with it, but never hurts. Then at receiver, I think we have a decent amount of options available to us. But if they were to be taken, Jaquez Banks, Delvin Lemon. So that's some more options there. Robbie Elliott. Then what about Gil Barnes? Looking for someone with a good combine grade with something that stands out. We can scout one more player. Let's see, Nicholas Hampton. Good athleticism. Scout him. That's all our points available for us. While I'm thinking about it to see sort of what our team looks like heading into the draft, go ahead and just generate our best lineup. So the offensive line looks better with Mike Iupati and Ted Karras coming back. I think there's some improvement there. Robert Hunt and Austin Jackson at the tackles isn't ideal, but they do have room for development. Gus Edwards is our new running back. Jakeem Grant, Lynn Bowden. So we have some options at receiver. Then Mike Gesicki. Still need to get a third tight end and a backup quarterback. Malik Jackson, Raekwon Davis, Emmanuel Ogba, Christian Wilkins, Byron Jones, Igbenogany. Some options at safety. Darren Lee at middle linebacker. Terrell Basham. So I think there's definitely holes in this team still, but I think we filled some of those. Then let's see upgrade players. So Terrell Basham has one to start out, which is awesome. So we'll put that in speed rusher. See what he gets. Finesse moves and zone coverage go up. Zone coverage isn't super important, but finesse moves up to a 79 overall. That or 79, like that's pretty good. That's tough to beat. All right, so go ahead, advance forward again, and then we'll be getting into the draft. So look at free agents who are still available. There's especially at running back, some nice talent there. At receiver, John Ross, Philip Dorsett, and Damiere Byrd are all out there. So quarterback, still Winston was the only one to sign. And let's check out transactions for the AFC East and see who all was signed. Ronald Blair, Chris Warren, Poona Ford goes to the Jets. I like that signing for them. Zay Jones goes to the Jets. Benny LeMay, Michael Kendricks, Ryan Nall, Taylor Moton, Desmond King. So King gets a 5-year, $62 million deal. Moton gets what he was asking for, 3 years, $33.6 million, which I don't necessarily think I would wanted to have given him. Damon Harrison was franchise tagged by the Jets. Shaquem Griffin was re-signed by the Patriots. Let's see. All right. So I think we'll head into the draft now. One thing I want to check real quick and see what we're able to do. This is a player that I really want to trade for. I think he would pair perfectly with Gus Edwards. And let's see how much it would take to get the deal done. So Tony Pollard, I think that is a 1-2 punch with him and Gus Edwards. Would be really tough to beat. See if they want Bobby McCain. So we have Bobby McCain, who they might be interested in. Strong safety. I don't know if I'd rather give up Rowe or Bobby McCain. Let's see who's a better coverage player. 70. 72. It's a little less cap hit for them to take on. I don't necessarily want to give up any of our picks this year, but I would do maybe a 4th round pick next year. We'll do a 3rd round pick. I think that's a little more realistic. And we get Tony Pollard. Honestly, didn't think that would go through. But give up Eric Rowe, so we have a spot open at safety now. But I think we have the ability to fill that. And then at running back, we have a lot of talent available. Trying to surround Tua with some weapons. All right. So that's a great way to head into this draft. So the Carolina Panthers are on the board first. And they take... Wow, they go Jeffrey Sharp, the wide receiver. I was not expecting that. I thought it'd be Chad Quick. Then Chad Quick goes number 2 overall. Number 3 overall is Damian Peterson. So 1 pick before us. And Glenn Carrington is still available. Marquise Boykin. So we got some options here. Let's see. They take Cameron Brown. Wow. Okay. I wonder if we could trade back like 3 picks. No one wants to do that. So Glenn Carrington is available. So is Marquise Boykin. Carrington's a late 1st round grade compared to Boykin is a early first. I think he's really good, 21. He's an elite athlete, good man coverage, which I believe will translate to good zone coverage. Because we're not able to trade back, I think we go ahead and go with Marquise Boykin. I think he's going to be good. And 76 overall, 5th in true talent, and we drafted him number 5, but he has normal development. So 92 speed, 77 hit power, 71 zone coverage, 76 man coverage. So I think that's a good pick. I wish he had hidden development. He doesn't, but I think 21 years old, he has a lot of room that he can develop. I just want to know what Cameron Brown is going to be, because that's probably a bigger need. But he continues to drop. Ashton Thorne goes number 7 overall. I really liked him. So Carrington was a 71 overall. We'll check his development after, but I think we made the right call. That wouldn't have been a big upgrade over Robert Hunt or Austin Jackson. Josh McLean, right tackle, 70 overall. Zamir Hunter. He was another person I was considering, He's on the Cardinals. So we have, let me write this down. Zamir on the Cardinals. And then the left tackle who was just taken. So we'll check out his. And so we got one more pick. I think I knew who I want to target. Terrell Wall, the number 1 corner, is still there, or quarterback is still there. But I think Cordell Berry will be the pick. Because all these other players we don't know a ton about. But Donovan Fairley, we don't know what his finesse move is, or pass rushing, or block shedding. But we do know Cordell Berry has a B+. We'll go ahead and move through this pick, and then we can sort of work from there. So Cordell Berry, I can't believe that. I wanted him so bad. He goes to the Falcons. That's tough. I really wanted him. Check out Anthony Irving. So B+ finesse move with 4.58, 4.53, but we don't know his. I just can't believe that Cordell Berry was taken. I think he was going to be so good. We'll check out Cordell Berry also after this. The Falcons messing up my life more than they normally do. All right. So out of the other players in the first round who are still available to us, I think it's got to be Anthony Irving. Let's see. 77 overall, so a great pick again, but still stuck with normal development. 86 speed, 71 finesse move. So that's an instant impact player for us. 80 strength as well, decent block shedding, so ability to grow. But just first 2 picks, no hidden development, that's tough. So we'll move forward now. Now the question is, when does the first quarterback go? Ben Callaway, Damon McNair, Dwayne Lindley. That's a good pick by the Giants. Jose Hardison. I think he's elite too. Donovan Fairley. So we got the better overall there. So I think we made the right call. David Parker. Anthony Worthy, a good corner from Clemson. Not as good corner goes to the Browns. The Cowboys, they take Brian Bernal from LSU, a linebacker. Another receiver goes. So the Patriots use their first pick on a receiver. Then a corner. The Packers still don't draft a wide receiver. And then the Jets. So Jets draft a receiver. That's a long run on receivers there. So our draft board, we have Addison Higgins available, Alex Simmons, Devontae Best. Okay. I think hopefully they'll be available for us. So quarterback still has not gone. The Ravens don't need a quarterback. Now the Saints do. Let's see if Terrell Wall goes there. He does. So Terrell Wall to the Saints. So that's something to keep an eye on. Not a super high overall, but we'll have to see what his development trait is. So I believe we pick 5th and 12th again. Yeah. So top players on the board, there's a little bit of a dip before you get to Addison Higgins, Kenya Albert, and Alex Simmons and Devontae Best. So hopefully this time no one swoops in and steals one of them from us. George Smiley, who was on there, he goes 71 overall. Morris Ross. Jamie Lamb, the first running back, goes to the Jaguars. So took till the second round, but I think 76 overall is really good. And then one more pick before us. They take Josh Rhodes. So back-to-back corners go. And now we have some options. So we'll go to our draft board. There's still some guys here, but we don't really know anything about them. So the players in this area, we have Addison Higgins, Alex Simmons, and Devontae Best. I'm not sure. I think Devontae Best is really good, but I don't know how big of a need he is for us, especially undersized. Alex Simmons, I think we pray he's available with the 12th pick, and I think I want to go with Addison Higgins. He's a good athlete, good zone coverage, and I think he could replace Bobby McCain with Marquise Boykin, or what was the name of our free safety we just drafted? Yeah, Marquise Boykin replacing Eric Rowe. So yeah, we're going to go Addison Higgins. Normal development, and we reach 70 overall. Not as fast as I was hoping, but does have good zone coverage, and I think he could be pretty good for us. So that's not a superb pick. I think it may be a little bit of a reach, but I think he's valuable. So now we just have to go a few more picks with the center not being taken. Juwan Malone. If someone swoops in again and steals our player, I'm going to be upset. Okay, the Falcons don't steal him. The Falcons do steal him. He's only a 70 overall, so not a super big miss. But the Falcons stole another one of the players I wanted to get. Falcons are going to be enemy number one. We don't ever probably play them, but that's twice now. One pick before us, they've swooped in and stole the player I wanted. I don't think Kenya Albert's all that worthwhile. We pick 5th in the 3rd round, so a while until then. I wonder if we go Devontae Best. He has a lot of uncertains. Let me check, see what offers are available for the pick, and then we'll go from there. So the Bears will give us a 3rd round pick. No thank you. The Bills will give us a later pick. So Washington will give us a 3rd, 2 3rds this year, and a 7th. The Rams will give us a 2nd round pick next year and a 7th this year. I'm definitely not trading with the Falcons. They can leave me alone. So we have a 2 from the Browns for next year and a 2 from the Rams next year. The Rams will give us a 7th this year versus a 5th next year. Or, like, if Alex Simmons was still here, I would have taken him. But I'm not sure how worthwhile it would be to take. I think Devontae Best is really good, like I said. But I'm not sure how worthwhile that is in terms of what we actually need. It's a really tough call. Because we don't have a ton of picks left today. Only 4. And I know I want to get... Let's look at who's still on our board. Maybe one of these centers. Melvin Southward is a 100% possible. We have to get him. I'm taking him in the 3rd round, I think. So then we have Jordan Slater. We have Tayshawn. So Tayshawn Stingley is available later. And then Nolan McNeil. I want them. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to trade with the Rams. I want that 7th round pick. And we're going to trade out of here. I'm sure Devontae Best is going to be really good. And I'm probably going to regret it. We'll have to see where he goes, though. Larry Weston, not good. Kari Richardson, Jimmy Oliver, 74 overall running back. Junior Smith. So Devontae Best only 71 overall. He wasn't as good as I thought he would be, and I think we made the right call there. I also just noticed he is from Miami, so that would have been pretty cool, but I think that was the right call there. I think that may be the first tight end who's gone, and it was in the middle of the second round. So we've taken 2 safeties, and I feel like we got the best 2 safeties in this draft based on what I've seen so far. Kenya Albert goes to the Titans. Will Jennings, who is very interesting to me, wasn't super great. Okay. Chris Buckhalter. Avery Coakley. DJ Holiday. We're closing in on our pick, and the Falcons don't pick before us this time. I want to get Melvin Southward. 2 more picks. I can't see him getting picked this high. Vikings draft a 61 overall quarterback. Okay, so he wasn't picked, and we know who we're going for. Try and plan out the rest of this draft, though. So we pick late 4th round. Maybe one of these centers will be available, but I think we got to get Melvin Southward. He just looks to be so good. Then we have a 6th round pick, or the 4th round pick. We could also target Jordan Slater, Tayshaun Stingley with our 6th round pick if he's still available, and then Nolan McNeil. But Melvin Southward's the pick. 22, Ole Miss, and let's see. 73 overall, number 21 in true talent. We're doing really good in true talent, but our hidden developments just aren't there. So Melvin Southward, elite acceleration, good speed. So he could be our deep threat. Then good catch in traffic. Not very good spectacular catch, but good jumping, good agility. Needs to work on his route running and is super elusive as well. So I really like that pickup. I think that was worth reaching for him in the 3rd round. So now we got a little ways to go. Try and get through this quickly. See if there's any real standouts here. Len Nix goes to the Texans. LaShawn Dane goes to the Bills, 70 overall receiver. Trevon Dupree to the Giants. Looks like they've had a pretty good draft. Let's see, the Buccaneers get another weapon for Tom Brady. Bad right tackle for the Steelers. Patriots pick is coming up. See where New England goes. Wide receiver, 68 overall. So not a bad pick for late 3rd round. Winston Zenner goes to the Titans. So that's something to keep an eye on. He was really good for North Dakota State when we saw him. Taylor Wheatley. That's a good pick by the Jets. 70 overall. Chargers. Good receiver. Good tight end there by the Ravens, just stacking them up to go along with Mark Andrews. All right, now we're in the 4th round. We pick 18th overall, so we still have a while to go. Let's see. D'Angelo Jones. That's a good pick by the Vikings. Decent defensive tackle by the Jets. Looks like all of our division opponents are having a good draft this year. Jordan Slater. He was a guy that I liked. 69 overall. It's another one of those where that wouldn't be a big upgrade for us, though, over Austin Jackson or Robert Hunt. So these are the players still on the board, on our draft board. So Rylan Colvin is still there. See what Devin Cole's speed is. He ran a 4.56. Nolan McNeil ran a 4.5. So I think I like him better. Let's look at scouted. Miles Brewer, we'll put him on the board. Delvin Lemon. I don't see Sean Chambers really being a target for us. Jimmy Farr, I want to put him on the board just in case and see if we can't somehow pick him up. Deion Watkins. All right. And then Will Kilgore. So we still have a lot of options available to us. Greg Hatchett finally goes. Another quarterback, 66 overall. So this is a really weak quarterback class. And the second one win is the last pick in the first round, and he was a 60-something overall. Rylan Colvin, who I liked, goes to the Jets. He was a 67 overall. And then we're on the clock now. All right, let's see who is available. On our draft board, Devin Cole, Tayshaun Stingley's there. That's tough to pass up because we have 3 more picks. I want to get Nolan McNeil, one of these linebackers, and then Nolan McNeil, one of the offensive linemen, and then go from there. So Tayshaun Stingley is very interesting in the 4th round with a 1st round grade. So I can get a 4th round pick next year, a 4th round pick, a 5th round pick. What is that trade, Patriots? Just straight kindness out of my heart to trade down? And still will not trade with the Falcons. They can leave me alone. See if my schedule is available. I'm not sure. I think the schedule is available though. Let's check and see if we play the Falcons. Giants, Chiefs, Steelers, Seahawks. We do play the Falcons in week 15. So we'll see them. And we'll see Cordell Berry and Alex Simmons. All right. So we're going to make the pick. And let's see. So they're 7th round prospects. So I think they should last. I think we're going to take Tayshaun Stingley. 75 overall, 10th in true talent. And let's see. Elite strength. How big is he? 309. So we all of a sudden went from losing Devon Godchow, having no depth at defensive tackle, to having a lot of different weapons there. With Stingley being a good run stopper, Raekwon Davis, and they have Malik Jackson as well. I don't think it was a super important pick for us in terms of need, but I think the just talent is undeniable there. Devin Cole, 68 overall. So we got a little ways to go until our next pick. That was a better quarterback who was taken. Enrique Sellers. All right, nearing the end of the 4th round. Dylan Richardson, good middle linebacker. Nice running back there by the Raiders. Another good running back. Then the Jets take Taylor Ollie. Looks like to be a decent defensive end. That's a good pick by the Browns. All right. Who are the Falcons going to take? Tyler Taylor. We don't care about him. The Bills, 65 overall, strong safety. Let's see, Jets pick again. Another defensive lineman. That's a good outside linebacker for the Jaguars. Bills pick again. Jimmy Farr. So I liked him. Let's see what his ratings are, because he goes to the Bills. I think he has elite speed. So I think that's something where we're definitely going to see him. And I don't think we had the draft capital to take him, but I think he could be really good for them, especially with Josh Allen's big arm. That's a good corner. Tim Townsend. All right. Oh, wow. Nolan McNeil goes. Well, miss out on him. That's very disappointing. Missing out on a lot of players I wanted today. We've got good ones, but middle linebacker was an area that I wanted to draft, and I don't think we have any available to us anymore. Diego Trevino's available. He isn't as fast as I would want, though. So that's a big hit, especially he was a 65 overall with, I assume, is elite athleticism. Still some talent out there. And the upper 60s as we're in the 6th round. I think outside of quarterback, this was a really good draft class in terms of like depth top to bottom. Jets pick again, 64 overall. Because I'm not sure if we've had anyone in the 50s yet get drafted. All right, Falcons, who are you going to draft? Mac Foot. Good pick, wasn't interested. The Bills are up. Marquez Crocker. Good outside linebacker, Jason Ramsey. There's a 58 to the Giants. I think they took 2 quarterbacks. Darius Meadows. John Thomas goes. So we got one more pick till it's us. Let's see who we still have. I liked him. Christian Hopkins is available. Grayson Samuel. And then some other players here. I may go Grayson Samuel, as long as he isn't picked, which Steelers better not. Okay, so the Steelers don't. And I think the pick here is Grayson Samuel. He had a good combine, good pass blocker, only 21. Let's make the pick. Normal development, 66 overall. Pretty good pass block power and run block finesse, but doesn't really help us in the offensive line at all. Wow, so Diego Trevino goes. So that's another option for our 7th round pick we don't have anymore. I think for our 7th round pick, we go best player available. Christian Hopkins goes, so he's gone. 64 overall. Will Kilgore was on our board. 67 overall goes. Not sure if we're going to have anyone available to us. I want to use the pick, though, for sure. Build depth. Should at least Quan Bush. That looks like a good pick by the Seahawks. Jimmy Middleton. Then the Jets pick, go Antoine Higgins. All right. Final pick of the day. See who's available on our draft board. Only Deion Watkins. Ran one of the better 40 times, but we've invested a lot of capital into running back. Out of players that are scouted, actually, let's look at what's Gary Forbes' deal. Way too slow. Ladarius Johnston. No. Not really a ton of options available to us now. Jaquez Banks. Andrew McQueen. William McLean. Nope. Yeah. So it looks like if we pick someone, it's Deion Watkins. Let me see what my trade offers are. I try not to abuse the trade system as best I can. So we can get a 6th round pick. One reason that I kind of do want to trade away this pick is we lost our 3rd already for next year with the Tony Pollard trade. And like best case scenario, Deion Watkins is 4th or 5th on the roster. So I think we'll trade with the Giants instead of the Jets. And we'll just have to see what Deion Watkins is. Andrew McQueen, 67 overall, but at this point we have a lot of receivers of it like on the roster. We don't really need any more help. Just see if there's anyone we really missed out on that last pick. William McLean and that other receiver were good. Sean Higgins, Deion Watkins to the Buccaneers. So we'll have to check him out. He is a 64 overall, and that just doesn't do much for us right now. Because currently Myles Gaskin is our 3rd running back. And that's a pretty good 3rd running back, especially going over 1,000 yards last year for him. Tyrone Terrell. All right, 3 more picks. Sharif Caldwell. Let's see who's still on the board. No one who is rated all that highly. Matt Roach. Then the final pick in the NFL draft, Dion Howell is Mr. Irrelevant to the Saints. All right, so upgrading our roster. Let's see. Draft recap. So we got a number of players to look at here. So 76 overall, 77. This is a really good draft. Like, that's instant impact players almost across the board with great athleticism. All right, so the Cardinals. They took Zamir Hunter, normal development, and I think I prefer the safeties that we took. So he's a 74 overall. We got 76, 70, but he went 10th overall. Now the Falcons. Cordell Berry. So he's the same overall, but he has hidden development. And 81 finesse moves, 71 block shedding. They're similar athletes. Let's see. 86, 88, so he's a little quicker than 81, 73. So outside of the development trait, let's compare them. Cordell Berry and Anthony Irving. So they're both 77 overall. They're very similar. All right. Yeah, very similar. He's slightly better block shedding. Same finesse move, same power move, same pursuit. Slightly better injury, much better stamina. That's interesting. Cordell Berry's is really bad. What was their strengths again? Okay, so very similar. So I think outside of slight advantage in quickness and the hidden development, that really isn't that bad of a pick. Then Glenn Carrington, he has hidden development. Okay, so good run blocking power to start. I mean, you can make a case there, but I think Marquise Boykin's really good for us. Now let's check out Terrell Wall. Hidden development. So that'll definitely help the Saints out. Great throw power. Great athlete. Not super good elsewhere, but I think he could develop with time and be really good. See, the Jaguars took the first running back overall. Ooh, let's look at the Jaguars draft. 71, 76, 76. They had a really good draft. They also had a ton of picks. So Jamie Lamb, normal development, 90 speed, 95 acceleration. It's a good pick. Go back to the Falcons for Alex Simmons. Normal development. I think that would have been a big upgrade for us. That's disappointing. He's not as strong as I would like, though. Devontae Best. Forget who drafted him. The Buccaneers. Normal development. I don't think we really missed anything there. Especially our defensive tackle pick was much better. The Titans. Winston Zinner. Hidden development. Not a great athlete, but does pretty much everything well. And is just an interesting player for them. The Bills took that receiver from Arizona State. 70 overall. Normal development, but does have 94 speed. So I think he would have been worthwhile for us to get, but just didn't have the picks. Now let's check Nolan McNeil. See if we really missed out on him. He's exactly what I was looking for. That hurts. His block shedding is really bad, but he has the speed, potential for zone coverage, and that's tough. Will Kilgore was another one that we had on our board, but wasn't probably going to be drafted by us. Not super great. Diego Trevino, I believe, went to the Titans. Yeah. So 87 speed for him. 66 zone coverage. I think he's better than Nolan McNeil, but he's 23. And then the Buccaneers drafted Deion Watkins, who he considered. 91 speed. I think he would have been okay, but not super great. So we'll check out our division opponents and then pretty much wrap up the offseason. So DeMar Cummings was the first pick for the Bills, 23 normal development. Not super impactful, but is a great athlete. Let's see. LaShawn Dane, another receiver they picked up. Looks to be more of a go up and get it type of receiver. So not a super great draft for the The Bills, they got some decent players, but no real impact players. Then the Jets, they took Ashton Thorne, who I really like. Normal development, though, only 21. Best athlete that we've looked at so far, but worst zone coverage out of the three. But if he can get his block shedding up, he looks to be really, really good. So they got some nice players across the board, sort of similar to the Bills draft, but they did get more of an impact player with Ashton Thorne. And then the Patriots. Jason Gibbs was their first pick. 5'9" wide receiver, good speed. Great spectacular catch. Looks to be a pretty weak draft from them, though. Then we'll look at one more thing, the highest rated players in this class. So the three highest rated were all defensive end and all pass rushers. And they were all 21 too. So that's interesting. Chad Quick went number 2. Then Cordell Berry and Anthony Irving. So that's something to keep an eye on. And I think those three will be linked together for a while as the best pass rushers drafted, all in the top 12 picks. And all the teams that really need pass rush help, we didn't need quite as much, but I think it's worthwhile for us to get. Then Damian Peterson, Marquise Boykin is tied for second highest overall. Then Jamie Lamb. Jaguars got a number of really good players. Tayshaun Stingley. So 77, 76, and 75 are the highest overalls. We got a player in each of those ratings, which is awesome. And I think we're going to have a lot more depth across this team. Also got a 73 overall. Biggest disappointment is we didn't get any hidden development players. All right, so we'll look at what the roster looks like now with all the new players that we have. So Devontae Parker, Gus Edwards, Tony Pollard. So the new players on this team, Mike Iupati, Melvin Southward, Greg Ward is back, Gus Edwards, Tony Pollard. Defensive side of the ball, Malik Jackson, Tayshaun Stingley, Raekwon Davis. That's a pretty elite defensive tackle group, and we'll be able to substitute a lot there depending on situation. Darren Lee is now our second middle linebacker. Need a little more depth there. Bobby McCain at free safety. Strong safety, Marquise Boykin looks like he's going to be starting day one and be our best safety. Xavier Howard, and then Noah Igbenogany. So I think this team is looking better for sure. And yeah, I think that's how it's going to be. Split carries between these two. Third down back's going to be Tony Pollard. He's a great pass catching back with good speed. Gus Edwards is our power back between the tackles. Yeah, 93 speed, 86 juke move, 70 catching. I'm excited to have all these players on the team. I think we have more weapons for Tua to work with now, and some of that strain will be taken off. One thing I'll probably do before the offseason recap is there players on this team that I want to cut. Think you could see Jordan Howard getting cut. People who don't really have a spot on this roster, who we haven't actually seen much before. Allen Hurns. Probably a decent number of these defensive players. Players like Zach Zeeler. I think we'll keep all of them. Andrew Van Ginkel. These are people who I'm not sure they're going to make the roster. While I'm thinking about it, let me move Darren Lee to middle linebacker. He basically will fill the Landon Roberts at Kamu Grugier Hill the role they had last year. Do need a little more depth probably at outside linebacker. Not sure Michael Divinity is going to be making the roster. Then corner for sure. Javaris Davis as our fourth is not great. We got a lot of depth at safety now. Have to figure out what we want to do with all of it. Then draft picks. We have that's this year. So next year we'll have a first, a second, 2 seconds, no third though. Then a fifth, a sixth, and then another sixth, then no seventh. But I think that's pretty much going to do it for today. See if there's any one that we need to upgrade. We'll just get this to go away. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope everyone enjoyed the off-season live stream today. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below. I'll have the recap coming up soon. Also, we'll have South Dakota Dynasty going up next week, getting the return to that. Just been super busy with everything going on in life. But hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm excited to watch the rest of my day, spending it watching some college football.